Hello everybody and welcome to the Unit Showcase. The Unit Showcase takes a look at different units from different games. Now in this video, we are showcasing a very cool bonus from Wargames Illustrated issue 447. This is the free plastic frame from Warlord Games' Fallschirmjäger, the Winter Platoon box set. The issues that come with free frames are my personal favorite issues. It gives me a chance to paint something I won't usually paint. These Fallschirmjäger in winter gear, for example, is nowhere on my very, very long painting list. There are 6 figures to paint on this frame, enough to get a taste and to appreciate painting these World War II infantry miniatures. And not too many to get boring for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to unpack a little bit of history, take a close look at what you're going to get out of this brew, and I'll show you these winter warriors and what they look like, fully assembled and painted. So let's jump in. Now the Fallschirmjäger were Germany's elite paratroopers during World War II, known for their toughness, loyalty, and unique battlefield role. Originally part of the Luftwaffe, they were deployed in major airborne operations early in the war, from the invasion of Norway to the famous assault on Crete in 1941, the largest airborne operation in history at the time. But as war dragged on, they were increasingly used as elite infantry, defending Monte Cassino, holding the line in Normandy, and enduring the brutal conditions of the Eastern Front. By the late war, especially in winter campaigns, they were often under-equipped, but always remained formidable. In winter, the Fallschirmjäger adapted their kit to survive freezing temperatures. You'll notice padded jump smocks, thick trousers, gloves, the use of makeshift camouflage, white cover, Zeltbands, or captured allied gear. The classic Knockhensack jump smock was sometimes replaced or worn over layers. The helmet covers became even more common. These troops often had a rugged, weathered, beaten look, perfect for modeling gritty realism on your tabletop. Now, but the frame that I got didn't have a lot of the gear, so I had to work with what I had. So let's look at the free frame that you get with issue 447. This brew is basically a sampler from Warlord Games' Fallschirmjäger winter set. You get enough parts for 6 infantry figures, and you can see all the different weapons to choose from. You got some very dynamic poses, a lot of winter smokes. You got some really nice detail on the weapons. You got weapons which are already put on arms, where you can just put the arms in, so you don't have to fiddle with the putting the weapons onto the arms. This was a problem that they had with the old plastic miniatures. You know, once you've put the arms, you got to basically balance the weapon so it'll fit nicely. The new sets don't have this as a feature. So this is great. This is kind of cool. It's basically for you to get the miniatures assembled really, really quickly and really, really nicely. Lots of different bits on this sprue and frame. But what's also nice is the different heads. You got all these different heads that you have in the frame. If I had one big complaint with the frame, or at least the frame that I got, it's basically the fact that when you really think about it, there are not enough left arms to complement the right arms. So I found myself having slight problems trying to really work the modularity of the kit. It seems like a lot of the weapons were on the right arm, and the left arm seems to be forgotten for some reason. When they do have bits with the left arm, it's either combined with the weapon, or they're too few for it to be really very exciting. I mean, you got arms holding on to weapon caches and stuff like that, but apart from that, you don't have that many different variations to actually make the kit even more customizable, which I for me, and especially with the fact I'm doing six figures, I wanted them all to be unique. So that's the problem I had, more or less. If you look at the frame, you will also find that they also nicely, broke down the heads into the helmeted heads and the heads with the caps, Luftwaffe hats and caps, which I gravitated to be honest. Why? Because I felt that if I'm gonna be painting these only six figures, I wanted the ones that look the most unique and most different. Perhaps if I was doing this for a whole platoon, I'll probably put more helmets than usual. And because I had a lot of the figures using the hat, there was also this issue with color because most of the caps were blue. Now they were not exactly blue; they were like slightly grayish. But I went for a slight more blue look for this one. I was talking to SL about the kit gear, and he did mention that some of the uniforms were more blue. But I'm not so sure if it was this blue. So I'm just gonna work with this, and because I've added the blue, I decided that will be the other color in this whole unit. So the whites, blues. I also tried to play with the different colors for the uniforms. Some I tried using a little bit of a quick shade brown wash, to give it a little bit more dirty look. Some I chose the quick shade blue wash, and then I dabbed off the excess with cotton bud, for it to give a nice blue hue on it. As for the bases were pretty straightforward. I wanted the bases to be wet and dark, so it's dark earth. So I pretty much based everything black, and then put some rocks and pebbles on it, and then drop snow on it, which kind of worked because most of the time the earth is wet because of the ice melting and stuff like that. So it gives off a nice effect, which I really really like. So let's look very quickly at the different figures that we've got. The first one using a hat this is what they call winter hat, or but he's got a let me get this right. Let me pronounce this right. So this guy is armed with a Sturmgewehr, Sturmgewehr 44, which is, well, pretty much the first modern assault rifle. And I put this on. It looks quite nice. As for the webbing or the gear, I kept it quite minimal. I didn't want to overdo it. I just want to keep this one as simple as possible. And this one, the figure looks like it's about to charge into action. The next figure is basically the MG42. I was tempted to put the ammo belts on this figure, but I decided against it. This is the only figure that's fully white. I think if I had done the whole six figures fully white, it would have been a little bit more boring. So I let this one be the only one with the full white uniform, which I thought works with the fact that he's gonna be letting fire, so he probably wants to be hiding himself out, in the woods somewhere under the snow. Next up is NCO, an officer, and this guy is armed with Pepper 41, and this is a Soviet submachine gun. So this is like captured weapons, or maybe weapons that they found. So it's nice that there's a little bit of different weapons here with the Soviet weapon as well. I put this with the NCO because if anybody's gonna take souvenirs, it'll probably be the NCO. Yeah. Also, he's pointing his finger. I did not want to have this figure with the glove on, so I went with skin tone on this one. Next up, we've got the trooper with MP40. This one I went with a slightly more dirty look for the top. I used a little bit of a brown wash to give it a little bit more dirty look. Maybe it's already been in action for quite a bit. Of course, the if possible, I would have done them all with a little bit more muddy look, but I wanted this one to be a little bit more for display. So yeah, the rest of the figures were not as dirty as this. In fact, they were more clean than anything. The base again, simple, little bit pebbles and the ice effect. The next figure is the Car 98. You've got to have a guy with the Car 98, and this guy's also wearing a hat or cap, as we would call it, and it's he's wearing the pants from the Luftwaffe pants. I think this one the early Luftwaffe pants, the more bluish ones. He's got a little cigar in his mouth. Very nice looking figure, very nice and action packed. I mean, most of the time, the figures out of Warlord Games look like they are really out of Commando magazine. In fact, they have said that the whole over the top action vibe is consistent with Warlord Games' design philosophy. So the next figure, and this one's crouching. I had a choice on what I was going to do with this figure, and remember earlier I was saying there was a lack of options for left arms. This one had a left arm with a Panzerfaust, and I had another right arm with a Panzerfaust. So this is the Panzerfaust guy. He doesn't have that much personal gear. So what he's supposed to be doing is he's supposed to be the guy who knocks out the tanks for the rest of his platoon to go in and take him out. Maybe I'm not so sure whether it was an overkill with having two Panzerfausts on one figure, but I also reckon that you probably want to bring a backup just in case your Panzerfaust does not work, or you run out of ammo, or you miss. Right, so that's pretty much it. I had a lot of fun painting and building the figures. Like I said, some went for a dead look, some went for a more faded white. I was trying to get some variety to reflect considering you got a captured Soviet weapon. This is probably late war, so I was trying to simulate some late war conditions. The sculpts are really rewarding to paint, I must say, especially the folds in the smocks and the creases in the trousers. Very nice. Makes the figure look quite dynamic. So if you're planning to do Battle of the Bulge or something that's more Eastern Front, Eastern Front winter skirmish kind of thing, these figures have the character and the detail to bring your table to life. As you can see from the overall look, I chose to go with more caps instead of the helmets, as I said earlier. I may have overdone it on that front, but the non-helmet heads were more interesting to build. That's just me. Also, because I chose to go with the caps, this meant that there was more blue in the 6 miniatures. So I decided to embrace the color and added blue whenever it was needed. The blue washes for some of the miniatures, that was the last minute choice to go for. All the figures were I tried to keep the 6 figures different but cohesive. So that's pretty much a wrap. That's a look at the free frame, the free Fallschirmjäger winter frame that we got with Wargames Illustrated 447. Now, if you are wondering, I'm a big fan. I think I've said that in the beginning of the video. And whenever there's a free frame, I will give the frame a go and try to paint it. I don't know whether I know what's coming up next. So this is just as exciting for me to see whenever a new frame is announced. Right. So if you get this issue and you have the frame, good luck with it. If you don't have the frame, no worries. You can actually buy the whole Platoon box straight from Warlord Games. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments if you've painted your free frame or if you've started the your own Fallschirmjäger in winter gear. And let me know. What do you choose to go with? As always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. And don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.